Hey, what's up, cats and kittens? And shout out to all my cerebralites. It's me, the Cerebral Diva, back with a episode of Daily Dose. And in today's episode of Daily Dose, I want to talk about a video that's gone viral. Um, if you haven't seen the video, I'm not sure how you haven't been privy to it because it's pretty much been all over my timelines a multitude of times today. And so, give me just 1 second here, you guys. Okay, so the video that I'm referring to, or the video that I'm referencing, is a video with David Doe or David Dow. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name. An Asian man who was aboard a United flight 3411 out of Chicago O'Hare, and it was a flight that was overbooked. Okay, and when I see this video, the first thing this is the reason I avoid flying at all costs. If I can drive, if I can catch a train, I'm just not a huge fan of flying. It's just too problematic for me to deal with TSAs and the long lines and the screenings, and you can't bring this, you can't bring that. And so for me, even though it gets you there quicker, just the hassle of it for me personally is just a little too much. So I try to avoid it wherever I can. And when I saw this particular video, it really just sort of underscored my logic and my reasoning for trying to avoid flying at all costs. Unless it's someplace that I have to be sort of almost instantaneously. I'm a big proponent of road trips that, I like to take my time, see the world, see America, and just sort of enjoy the journey as opposed to just focusing on the destination. So having said that, Flight 3411 out of Chicago O'Hare, United Airlines made a mistake that we see airlines do over and over and over and over again. They overbook, they oversell these flights because it's beneficial to them, and they don't give a lot of credence to how it might affect the passengers who are on these overbooked flights. And usually passengers are pretty amiable, pretty compliant, and unfortunately this time overbooking really came back to bite United in a major way. So they overbooked this flight, and apparently there was a crew member and not an actual paying customer who needed this seat, and this is why this man is being dragged from this plane. Not for a paying customer, but for a crew member. Now my thing is, when you're wrong, you're wrong. Okay? So if you're wrong based on the fact that you've overbooked, the way that the company should have handled it is by going onto the flight, making an announcement saying, hey passengers, this is crew member so-and-so, so-and-so. We really apologize for this inconvenience, but we've overbooked, and we need some of you guys to volunteer to give up your seats. If you're willing to volunteer to give up your seats, this is what we're willing to do to incentivize you to do so. We're going to offer you another round trip. We're going to offer you free hotel. We're going to do something to offset this inconvenience. But no, United said we'll have no parts of that. I mean, it's not enough that these people charge you astronomical fees for every little thing these days. I mean, if you bring a bag on, they want $50. If you want a meal, they want $25. If you want extra leg room, I mean, they charge us for every single thing. And now when it is their turn to give a little bit back, they are completely rigid and unwilling to do so, to the point that when no one volunteered, why they singled this man out, well, David Doe or David Dow, however his name is pronounced, is alleging or feels that he was singled out because he was Asian. Now, being a person of color, I can immediately empathize with that. You definitely see a lot of non-Asians actually filming, and a lot of non-Asian people coming to his defense. So I don't want to turn this into a racial issue necessarily. But you see a lot of non-Asian people, i.e. white people, i.e. Caucasians, who are, really speaking out in defense of something that they deemed indefensible. Because the way this man was treated, it's not just the physicality of it. It's it's dehumanizing. It was embarrassing the way he was dragged from this plane. Now, some people might say, well, if he didn't want to be embarrassed, he could have gotten up and walked away. Well, if they didn't want problems with overbooking, they shouldn't have overbooked the flight. But for United overbooking that flight, there would be no need for this incident to occur. So I don't blame him by any way, shape, or form. It said that he was screaming, "I need to get home. I need to get home." So apparently, I don't know what issues he awaited him at home, or why he felt so passionately about making sure that he was on this particular flight. But whatever reason, whether he needed to get home because The Walking Dead was coming on and he needed to see the season finale, it's really a non-issue for me because he paid for a flight. He paid for a service. He did everything that he was compelled to do as a customer, and ultimately, he was treated like a criminal. And it's great to see that. This is why I love social media so much. I mean, social media is sort of a gift and a curse, and this is one of those instances to me where it's really a gift because as consumers, as people who have the right to speak with our money and not just our voices, seeing the way that this man was dragged from the plane gives so many people the opportunity to say, you know what, if we speak up as a collective, if we speak up in concert and use not just our voice, but our buying power, our dollars to protest it, because United was actually advocating on behalf of the crew members who dragged this man, and essentially saying that the melee, if you will, was warranted by his resistance. Not only was he dragged, but I believe his lip was bloodied. It was pretty bad. And so now back to my point. Because of social media, because of this particular video going viral, we get a chance to really impact these corporations who, for so many reasons, seem to not see us as people, but see us as cattle. They're collecting data from Facebook. They're collecting data from Twitter. You see the ads that are popping up on your timeline based on your Google searches. They're constantly collecting information on how to cater to what we like and cater to our needs and cater to our tastes. But if you really want customers, provide good customer service. All of this sort of ancillary data that these companies are collecting, to me, is superfluous and really serves no purpose if your customer service sucks. I don't care what you think I like. My likes are prone to change at any given time. But the one thing that's going to assure that I constantly come back, the one thing that's going to assure that I tell people about, that I give you good word of mouth, it's good customer service. Now, even though I don't fly, don't fly frequently, I should say, having seen this particular video, rest assured, when I do fly, it will not be United. It just won't be United. I don't necessarily want to say that I want to see this company fold, but I definitely want to see this company I want to see them take on a hurting. They need to understand how to treat people. It's the same things over and over and over. These inexcusable actions, based on money and not on humanity. And at the end of the day, your customers are human beings. Try compassion, try empathy, try being able to relate to people in a way that allows them to maintain their dignity. We understand that it was an inconvenience. We understand that you guys had to fly, but you guys caused this inconvenience. So if it costs you a little bit more money, if it costs you a little bit more time, then unfortunately you're going to have to bite that bullet. And I'm Team David Doe 100%. I'm not sure what sort of repercussions United will suffer as a result of this. Based on what I've read, the stocks are dropping. They're losing hundreds of millions of dollars. And I say kudos. I'm glad to hear that, and I hope that this will not just be a message to United, but to a message to companies all across the board to think about how you treat your customers, to not just see customers as cattle, to not just see customers as dollar signs, but to respect the people that put you in the positions and make it possible for you to eat and live. Anyhow, you guys, I think I've gone longer than I expected to. Um, as always, in closing, remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. It is me, the Cerebral Diva. Remember to follow me across all social media platforms, i.e., Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I'm Cerebral Diva. No accent marks, no underscores, no hashtags, just Cerebral Diva. If you can spell, you can find me. I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day, and do not fly United.